Hello and welcome to the candidate interviews for the Political Mingle of 2020 series. My name is Robin Swan. I'm the Government Affairs Director at the Winter Park Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us. The interview series today allows us to hear from candidates who are going to be running in the upcoming elections. Today, we're thrilled to have with us Rhiannon Arnold, who is running for Circuit Judge in Florida's 9th Judicial Circuit. Rhiannon, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Robin.
So I'm going to ask you three questions, the same three questions we've asked all the other candidates. And the first is, what is your primary motivation for running for this position?
My primary motivation for running for this position is that I believe that circuit court judges need to be prepared. They need to have a wealth of knowledge and experience within the courtroom. And I believe that I have those characteristics, and I was ready to serve my community in a more impactful way. And so I made the decision to run. I declared in January of 2019, and I have been campaigning while running my law firm, the Arnold Law Group, and still continuing to be a practicing trial attorney in the 9th Judicial Circuit. While campaigning and meeting my community and still being a wife and a mother to my two children, Madeline and Mason. I have been a trial attorney for the last 15 years here in the Central Florida community. And when I say a trial attorney, I mean I have actually been practicing and trying cases in front of juries in both the criminal and civil arenas. I have over 60 trials as first chair, meaning I have been responsible for everything in front of the jury from start to finish in both criminal and civil matters. And I've been able to see real life courtroom experience day in and day out. I believe that my experience prepared me for the job of circuit court judge in both civil and criminal trial experience, and that I'm ready to hit the ground running when the voters of Central Florida elect me as circuit court judge group 1. And I'm ready to serve my community in a more impactful way. And I'm excited about doing that and showing my young daughters what girl power can do.
Wonderful. So tell me, how are you uniquely qualified to serve in this position?
Well, I think that, my last answer kind of talked about that, Robin, but, more importantly, it is so important for lawyers who are looking to become judges to have real experience. I think a lot of voters they don't know a lot about judicial candidates because we're nonpartisan races and because of the judicial canons and what it keeps us from saying to voters and how our judicial races are uniquely different from other partisan races. There's not a lot of information about us out there. And so voters sometimes are voting blindly, for lack of a better word. Most voters that I've come to find out about since campaigning, this is my first time ever running for any kind of, seat or anything. I'm not a politician. I've never run for anything. And so what I've learned from voters is that they really don't know much about judicial races, and they don't know a lot about what it entails. And so many of the voters that I've come before and been out meeting, what they've all thought is that all lawyers try cases. All lawyers go before juries. All lawyers are prepared to be judges. And so I think it's very important that the voters here tonight at your Hobnob know that I am prepared. Over the last 15 years, I've spent my time inside of a courtroom trying cases in a variety of matters, from DUIs all the way to first-degree murders, and then in civil cases, from car accidents, I tried cases from start to finish and know the ins and outs of both criminal law and civil law, and have had an opportunity to practice that in the courtroom in a variety of areas. And that makes me prepared to take over a division no matter where the chief judge may put me. And with our courtrooms being so backed up already, and then we add COVID to it, we need a judicial candidate who's ready when they get elected to step into that position from day one, a utility player that can be placed anywhere and isn't going to need a whole lot of on-the-job training. And that's where I differ from my opponent and where I'm ready to go from day one. And that's what our community deserves. And that's why I'm ready.
Okay, and Rhiannon, if elected, how do you hope to positively affect the office and the constituency that you will serve?
Well, Robin, that's a really great question. And I think something that's really unique about me, on top of my experience that we've already talked about, is that I'm a mother to 2 young children, and I'm a wife. And my husband is a local attorney here in the Orlando area as well. And when people look at me, they see what they see. And what makes me unique is that my husband is an African-American male attorney here in Orlando, and I'm raising 2 young 5- and 6-year-old daughters who are biracial. And so that gives me a unique perspective in our community with the things that we have going on, that I'm able to see things in a different light than most people who look just like me. And so one of the things that we see and that we hear about in our community today is our, concern for racial equality. And that's something that I live every day and that I experience in a different way than a lot of people who look like me. It's something that I live in my household and something that I experience as I raise my daughters. And so I believe that that gives me a very unique perspective from the bench. It gives me the ability to bring a unique perspective to the bench, and it gives me a perspective that not a lot of judges are able to have. And I believe that it's going to make me better suited to sit in a place of a circuit court judge and apply the law in a more even manner than a lot of other candidates can do. And I believe that that's what makes me the best candidate for this position.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for answering our questions today. And thank you for joining us on the 29th.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Certainly. And to our viewers, again, that's the Winter Park Chamber Political Mingle, July 29th from 6 to 7:30. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Charter Communications, and our supporting sponsor, the University of Central Florida. And guests may join us by going to our website, which is winterpark.org. Thank you again, Rhiannon, and we'll see you then.
Thank you so much, Ms. Swan. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you then.